Good morning and welcome back to Can You Survive the Hunter's Moon? We are at the start.
Just click on it, see if it.
Momentarily. While we wait for them to get ready to head in, check out this gorgeous view. We are out here at a farm in Holton, Maine, just 10 minutes from the Canadian border because we are that far northeast in America. And we are loving how gorgeous this site is. All right, let's head on into Tribal Council now, and we will go ahead and take our first look at the new Cutler tribe heading into Tribal Council.
Cutler, come on into Tribal Council.
Here's our lovely Tribal Council area. And in comes Matt, Tyler, Bergen, Dave, David, Miko, and Brad. Everyone's settling on in.
And we also welcome Culp back from Exile Island here to watch Tribal Council, because he will be taking the spot of the person being voted out right now. So, swapped Cutler tribe. Let's talk about how this tribe came to be. Bergen, you were a captain, number 2, so you had the last pick. It seemed like it took a lot of time to choose between Alex going over to Talos and sending Culp to exile. What went through your mind? What made your decision? What kind of guided that?
Nothing went through my mind. I was running very little sleep. I also shot myself in the foot because on the first draw, I was the one who accidentally grabbed the 2 tiles. So I wouldn't have even been in that position if I would have just grabbed it correctly the first time. So I kind of watched, I was happy to be 2 because I kind of watched what Taylor did. And it seemed like she didn't pick someone from her original. She didn't pick someone from mine. She went with the other. So I kind of tried to follow her logic. Not sure what the logic was, but I just followed what she was doing. But then when I got to the end, like you said, it was like all my tribe, and I was like, shit, now what do I do? And then I forgot I was sending someone to exile. So when you said that, I had an oh shit moment, and I honestly had no clue what to do. So I was staring at them both, and I was like, give me a sign, and no one was moving. So I figured Culp knows how to make fire. I thought he'd be by himself. Plot twist, he wasn't by himself. So I figured he could handle himself in a exile situation. So that's the only really thing that I thought of at the moment.
When you say plot twist, he wasn't by himself, what are you referring to?
Looks like he was maybe with all of the other eliminated contestants overnight. So maybe there's something to do with that. I don't know. We're all
interesting. So let's talk about hunting parties, since we're on the topic. We do have an interesting scenario here. We have 3 members of the same hunting party on one tribe: Matt, Bergen, Dave. Dave, does that kind of throw up some red flags for you and say, you know what, we could potentially get this advantage moving on to the next day? Does that paint a bigger target on your back, or are you trying to kind of push that onto somebody else?
I'll admit, I don't necessarily like the twist of a public advantage going into it. So just, could it play into people's mind? Yeah, of course it could. I haven't heard too much talk of it. I mean, on the other side of it, you could get rid of someone and eliminate them, and 2 people that are already, been eliminated. So there's 2 sides of the coin.
You're talking about Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, yep. or the other tribe if it happens to them next time. I mean, but I haven't really heard either of those scenarios much in the discussion of strategy here. It's really more about who do you feel comfortable with working longer term than the hunter party.
So the challenge, a little bit of a struggle for you guys. Couldn't get over that balance beam. It looks like Matt and pretty calm. Matt,
I think I stood up and said I think I'll do the puzzle because my hands are like very shaky, and so I thought that wouldn't have been my strong suit. I don't think with the challenge it was tough. It seemed like way harder to balance that ball than anyone anticipated. So maybe if we had reassigned people to different positions than that, we would have done better. But you know, it's so hard to predict those things, so don't really hold it against anyone.
Miko, with Culp coming back into the game, what type of thoughts would go through your mind of, you know, who are they working with, who aren't they working with, and how can I make sure that when he comes in, I'm still on a good side, or I can work with them?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm here, you know. I have not talked to Culp that much. I'm excited to get to know another person and see their strengths and figure out ways which we can benefit each other's games. I think a lot of us here, there's like a lot of like jumbled up like teams here. It's like not one team in majority, so we're pretty flexible with each other, and that's how we've been acting. So adding another person in the mix isn't going to change any of that.
So, Brad, after the loss, how was it coming back to strategizing? What were you all kind of, you know, breaking off individually, talking as groups, or was it kind of a general consensus, like maybe this is the vote to push?
No, everyone was breaking off into groups. At first, it was trying to learn each other's style on how they had done it on their previous tribes, since this is our first time together. You know, 3-2-2. So with our old tribe at Machias, you know, we would kind of take turns, like, you know, we would couple off. I think someone joked and said speed dating, kind of like, you know, use your time to see what you can get for info, this is helpful. Everyone gets a chance to talk to everyone if you hadn't before. I know me personally, it was tough because it was like we had the one night together or just getting to know each other. And it's really great. We had great discussions last night around the campfire. That was awesome. But I didn't feel like, as far as from strategy perspective, that was like, oh crap, now it's real. We got a challenge, and now what do we do?
Right.
Yeah, it's a tough spot, obviously, because we didn't get a whole lot of time together. Yeah. So a lot of nerves.
For sure. David, with this swap tribe, it is 3 green, 2 cream, and 2 red. Has that been any type of discussion as you guys have been strategizing for the past 40 minutes? Are there OG tribal lines still trying to stick together, or is it kind of blended now? I mean, you guys had a full night together last night in camp. Are these lines a little bit blended?
Yeah, I would definitely say the lines are blended. I mean, in terms of minutes spent with each other, you've obviously spent more time with your original tribe, so you might know that person better. But I really agree, and I'm going to echo what Miko said. There's so much openness, and I think there's a lot of communication in all directions. And I don't think anybody here is like closed-minded when it comes to talking.
Yeah. I always ask this question. I like it. Does anybody feel like they are in trouble right now?
I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into it, especially when you talk about hunting parties a lot, which is obviously, for me, a common conversation. But I think as we get closer to the rest of what's going to happen today and towards the end of the 5 days, that I'm necessarily not the biggest threat with my hunting party, because when you come down to, like, you know, how that's going to play out, it kind of, at first I felt like, and I think it had been discussed, like, okay, Atala's a really big threat, but now that people are, you know, getting together, tribes are getting swapped, switched over and stuff like that, it's kind of like, okay, there's also other threats to be had. So I'm obviously nervous. They do come off as a threat, but I'm on my toes. But I'm calm, I'm patient. It is going to be what it is, but I think that I bring a lot of value. So I hope that plays a big role in today's voting.
Totally. Now, there is another big twist in this game that has not even been touched, and that is the fundraising twist. There has to be contingency plans still for what might happen. I mean, we've had already 6 people vote out of this game, and none of them raised the most money. So that means there's still 3 people left in this game. There's 15. So, Matt, we'll go with you. What are your thoughts about that, and how are you moving forward and thinking about your plans?
For the most part, I'm voting, hoping and praying that they just don't have the most money. It's very difficult to, like,
you have to strategize and usually lie to someone about voting them out. And then to do all of that and also like apply it to another person and have a backup plan ready to go, very, very difficult. So for now, my strategy has just been, stick with the votes and hope it doesn't slap me in the face.
And I think that is the perfect way to start the voting. Let's hope it doesn't slap anybody in the face. We'll start with you, Matt. Go ahead.
All right. And as the players go ahead and start voting, we're going to head on over behind this barn. For those of you just joining us here for the first time on day 3, this is our time together, you as the viewers and me as the streamer, and so we will get to chit chat about everything we just heard at that tribal council, along with everything I've heard about this round. So this is our little tea time together. The players, as they're voting, are not allowed to speak. So rather than just sit there in silence, we just come hang out here. And I fill y'all in and you ask me questions and we all freak out together because this tribe is bringing the most drama of any pre-merge so far on Can You Survive, in my humble opinion, because wow. So, all right, let me just flip on over here to the very last page in my teen notebook. Wow, there's so much of it, but all right, we're getting there. We're getting there. New Cutler, yeah. All right, so New Cutler, as we just saw, has several different groupings going on here. So we have the 3 players on original green Machias, which are Bergen, Tyler, and Brad. We also have 2 players from the Cream Talos tribe in Dave and Miko, and 2 players from the Red Cutler tribe consisting of David and Matt. We also have separately a full hunting party, like host Alan pointed out, which consists of Bergen, Matt, Bergen, Matt, and Dave. Sorry, there's so many symbols and lines, it's going to be a whole thing. So we have 2 different, kind of big groupings. However, the biggest grouping is actually, I'm told, the 2 Cream Talos players, Dave and Miko, and the 2 Red Cutler players of David and Matt. I think they decided to come together this round potentially to aim their target at one of the OG Green Machias players in either Bergen, Tyler, or Brad, because they are noting that, hey, Culpa is about to come back in and he was also on Green Machias, and so they do not want a majority to be formed. They would rather keep it at 3 Green Machias, so that way they are still a foursome that cannot be outnumbered instead. So right now the options for Green Machias to be voted out are Bergen, Tyler, and Brad. So let's talk through those, because all 3 have a circle in my notebook, which means they are all targets, targeted by different people. So let's talk about, let's see, hang on, sorry. Okay, so let's talk about, this is, it's so much. All right, so we have kind of across those 2 groups of Dave, Miko, David, and Matt versus Bergen, Tyler, and Brad, we have a little bit of a showdown going off between Miko and Bergen. Both of those players have their sights set on each other. Miko wants Bergen out because he views Bergen as a threat, although he does not mind going with the flow this round if there is a majority consensus. He wants to push it, but is willing to flow today. Conversely, Bergen wants Miko out because Bergen is super connected to everyone in this tribe with the exceptions of Miko and David. So reminder, Bergen has his 3 Green Machias of Bergen, Tyler, Brad, and a full hunting party of Bergen, Matt, Dave. Leaving both Miko and David out of it. And he is super excited that he's with his hunting party. He's also potentially feeling safe because he thinks he might be the one with the fundraising advantage. So he's thinking maybe he had the most money. However, I'm not sure if either of those players will push for each other, because there is a general consensus right now that it is possibly going to be Brad. So both Brad and Tyler caught votes. At the very last tribal council we saw last night, there was a 2-2-2 tie between Brad, Tyler, and Fraser, who ultimately got sent home or sent to the hunting grounds in a revote. And Brad correctly played an idol. So it's one of those things where Brad and Tyler both caught votes. They are both easy names to throw out there. And they are both easy names to throw out to each other. So I'm told that Tyler is being told that it is gonna be Brad, and Brad is told that it is going to be Tyler. I know David told Brad that, hey, you know, Tyler's the last of the hunting party. Let's just get her on out of here. Easy elimination. Let's go. So yeah. Let's see. Moving on over to speaking of hunting parties, we have the full hunting party again of Bergen, Dave, and Matt. And Matt is feeling particularly well insulated on this tribe because of the hunting party, and that is currently his first priority, working-wise, as well. And and his OG tribe of David on this tribe, which is Red Cutler, and the other Cutlers on the other tribe. Those are the two priorities for him. Let's see. All right. Let me see. All right. Moving on over to David. He is planning to keep an eye out for Culp. He's worried that perhaps there is an advantage that was given to him in exile. And David also is looking at Bergen as a threat. Feels like he could potentially need to go because he's been searching for idols a lot. So David could also hop in on this Bergen plan potentially if he doesn't want to go with the David, Miko, Dave, Matt thing. Although I think he might for now. Let's see. Dave is also of this consensus that, you know, let's just try and vote out a green. And speaking of green, last but not least, Culp was saying in exile that, you know, worst case scenario, Bergen gets voted out, but really any green leaving is bad. Bad news for him. 3 of the 4 targets in this round are green. So, you know, we shall see. All right, let's head on back over. Sorry, that was a little discombobulated. It took me, I think, the most time to figure out this tea time for y'all, because everything was all over the place, and there's so many different groups. And they somehow don't form triangles or squares today. They form more like a parallelogram situation. So that was a little bit. But anyway, it looks like Alan is coming back with the votes now, so we will be getting that vote revealed shortly. All right, so as soon as we get back in, we will flip this around and get going.
If anybody has an idol or an advantage and they want to play it, now would be the time to do so. I'll read the votes. First vote, Tyler. Second vote, Brad. Third vote, Brad. That's 2 votes Brad, 1 vote Tyler. Brad. That's 3 votes Brad. 4. That's 4 votes Brad. That is enough. Please bring me your torch. So Brad, this is the part of the game where we find out if you have raised the most money on your tribe, and unfortunately you did not. The tribe has spoken. It's time for you to go to the hunting grounds. Thank you for playing.
All right, and we will follow Brad out on the live stream and head right this way.
Culp, if would you like to rejoin your new tribe?
Brad, we're just gonna head on over here, this bench. You can toss your stuff down, take a little breath, get situated, and then this will be your time to just share anything that you would like to with our lovely viewers.
Sure.
So you can get unsettled over there.
Ooh, that breeze though. Oh man.
All right.
In the trees, in the trees.
All right, Brad. So this is your time. Any thoughts you want to share? Anything you're feeling? Viewers would love to hear.
Oh man. Well, feeling butterflies obviously right now. Seeing your name written down that many times, and and this is, I will say, being thrown into it. Rely on, obviously, only if they to pull that off. But I had an amazing time. That went way further than I expected, which is awesome. A big mental moral victory for myself because I was so paranoid coming into it. And right out the gate, winning that Amazing Race Challenge and having the first immunity was pretty awesome. That was a huge confidence boost. And then finding a hidden immunity aisle yesterday during a challenge. So getting to experience all these things that maybe some people hope for in a whole duration of the game. I got back-to-back immunities at Tribals, which was awesome. It felt really cool. And that's why I played my idol last night. I came in telling myself, don't be that person. If you have an idol, play it. I don't want to be that person that goes home with it in their pocket, even though everyone was telling me I was safe last night. Maybe that wasn't the case. Though this is a new tribe and it's a mix of people. But, I was happy I played it and stuck to my guns. I made it through another night. I did 2 full nights, which is awesome. And I went 48 hours without eating, which blows my mind. So you can tell I like food. Huge fan. But the amazing part of it is that I thought that would be more of the mental part for me. Like, oh my God, am I going to get hunger pains? Am I going to get headaches? And I got one yesterday, but I think that's the sun and dehydration and all that stuff. But having just had 3 spoonfuls, I call it a spoon, it's a piece of bark, with rice on it this morning was a game changer. White rice is usually way too plain for me. It needs soy sauce, garlic, flavor it up. But this was it's just rice, but yes, it's so good. So you don't realize how much you take that for granted.
I love it.
So that was pretty cool. It was it re-energized us before the challenge because there's 3 of us on the new Cutler that hadn't eaten yet, me, Bergen, and Tyler. The way things just panned out after the first day of challenges, we only had enough points to pick one item from the store, and we got rice, and we were going to try and MacGyver it and cook it in a water bottle, but we never went that route. We were worried it might not work or be safe. And then last night with the tribe swap, our rice went to the other tribe, and we got a pot. So now we're in a position of having no rice but a pot. So we had rice and
Are
no
you moving
pot.
upwards? Are you moving sideways?
Yeah, so it was come on, man. So you're telling me still no food. So
Amazing.
it was pretty funny. It was okay, oh well, it's gonna come eventually. Just keep drinking lots of Propel and lots of water.
I love it. Well, Brad, before I let you go, thank you so much for sharing all of those favorite moments of yours and your time out here. You lasted so far to the beginning of day 3, which is no small feat. Also, you shared tons to be proud of about your time out here, tons of your favorite moments, which we love. Before I let you head on over to the hunting grounds, you were playing for a very worthy cause, so please go ahead and shout them out and let the viewers know who you're playing for.
Absolutely. So I'm playing for the Pope Humane Memorial Society. They're animal shelter back home. And this is the part where you might be like, hey, woo, prize. Yeah, I'm a crier anyway. I get, when I go to the movies, people laugh at me. Whatever. So 3 out of my 4 fur babies, my cats, come from this animal shelter. And my wife and I have volunteered there in the past. And when she was lucky enough to play a couple of years ago, she also played with them. And it was only fitting. They were my choice from the start. And I just wish I had a little more time to have been able to raise money. Being an alternate and then just kind of getting tabbed. I wouldn't say last minute, but 4 holidays. They give you a chance to really hit the ground running and raise funds, a lot of funds for them. But every little bit counts. Yeah, they're wonderful with each other. So, yeah.
I love it. Well, Brad, thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and let you head off with your handler, Ale, and we will see you later today. All right, everyone. And with that, the first vote out of day 3 is down. And like Brad said, he was just tapped 4 days ago to play. He was our last minute volunteer turned replacement. In our Great Mountain season, we had, sorry, I'm just like sitting in the swing and wow, this is so fun. I hope it doesn't bother y'all. Maybe I'll stop. But anyway, one of our players, Kendall, jumped in last minute and instead of volunteering was a player. And so ever since then, we've started a tradition where one of our volunteers knows that they might be a last minute alternate should something happen day of or a few days before. And so they're left out of all the planning, all the information. They don't know anything that's going on about the game. And that way, if they need to be tapped, they can hop in and fill that role. So we're super grateful that Brad did that this time, and we're so happy that he got to play and experience this game, which is super cool. He's been a big fan and supporter of Can You Survive for years, so we love that he now got to come out and play. And speaking of coming out to play, our next challenge is already being set up. I'm sorry, it's actually already set up. So we will be back live in 3 minutes. I'm literally just gonna go chug some water and then come back out to the challenge field. I will see you so soon. Thanks, everyone.